Hey everyone, Cinephile Mike here, and it is day 51 of Oscar Rewind. Welcome to September. Fall is here, and we are going to have a few great films coming up on Rewind in the next couple of months. Now, for those who may be new, Oscar Rewind is my bi weekly series of videos where I revisit films that reflect the earlier work of this past year's Oscar nominees and winners. As always, I'll be discussing the awards history for the film, the box office information, the critical response, and as always, these reviews will be spoiler free. You can find all older episodes here on the YouTube channel or on my website at cinephilemike.com. So, today is about weddings. Yes, I thought this would be a fun one to do today because it's the first review of September. And fun fact, did you know that September is one of the most popular months for weddings? In fact, approximately 17% of all weddings in 2023 occurred in September, with October having about another 17%. So about a third of the weddings took place in just 2 months, fall weddings. So here I am to talk about New Line Cinema's Wedding Crashers. Written by Steve Faber and Bob Fisher and directed by David Dobkin, this one was a spring release in 2005 and would begin this really strong trend of R-rated comedies. So the film upon its release was a box office success. It made back almost all of its $40 million reported budget opening weekend, where it made $32 million. By the end of its initial run, it would make a domestic total of $209,255,921, an additional $79,211,724 from an international release. There was a small domestic re-release in 2021 where it made an additional 17,490. So if you're doing the math the way I did, this film made over 6 times its initial budget, sitting currently with a worldwide total of $288,485,135. Critically, the film was also well received. As per Rotten Tomatoes, it is certified fresh with a 75% culled from 186 reviews and an audience score of 70% from over 250,000 ratings. So, why are we here? Well, I guess we're unintentionally still on the Bradley Cooper train, I just talked about Wet Hot American Summer last week. Now, while this was not his first film, it was earlier in his career. And as we know, if you watched the other day, he earned this past year his 10th, 11th, and 12th nominations for Maestro. I'm not really going to focus on him. One of the other reasons we're here is for Laurie McCoy Bell. McCoy Bell was part of the team nominated this year for Best Hair and Makeup at the Oscars, and specifically her role on the team was serving as hairstylist for Bradley Cooper, a job she has done for several other films of his, such as Nightmare Alley, A Star is Born, and American Hustle. Now, while not her first film serving as a hairstylist, Wedding Crashers would mark the first time that Cooper and McCoy Bell's paths would have crossed, leading to an almost 20-year working relationship. Now, as for Wedding Crashers' awards journey, well, it was beloved by many of the fan-voted competitions. It won 3 of its 5 MTV Movie and TV Awards, including Best Movie and Best Breakthrough Performance by the scene-stealing Isla Fisher. And while stars Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson were both nominated for Best Comedic Performance, they ultimately lost to Steve Carell for The 40-Year-Old Virgin, the other big R-rated summer comedy of 2005, the other success story. However, they did win for Best On-Screen Team, an award they would also win at the People's Choice Awards with Favorite On-Screen Matchup, and the film also received the Favorite Comedy Movie at the People's Choice and the Teen Choice Awards. Also nominated for Best Comedy Movie at the Critics' Choice Awards, again, losing to 40-Year-Old Virgin, that seemed to be its biggest comedic competition. It is also worth mentioning, though, that famed casting directors Lisa Beach and Sarah Katzman won Best Feature Film Casting for a Comedy from the Casting Society of America. And the ensemble cast that works together in this is strong. So, for anyone that hasn't seen this, here's your summary. Wedding Crashers is the journey of John, played by Owen Wilson, and Jeremy, played by Vince Vaughn. Longtime friends since childhood, and now working as divorce mediators by day, and enjoying their life as perennial bachelors, John and Jeremy get their kicks by crashing weddings, hence the title, by adopting a series of false identities when they go to each one in order to pick up women and take them home and have a wonderful night behind closed doors. I'll keep it clean. And it gets them through their day to day. And after many successful, we'll say, conquests, their next one, they have decided this is the big one. The wedding of Christina Cleary, the eldest daughter of U.S. Secretary of Treasury William Clary, played by Christopher Walken. Upon arrival, our crashers have set their sights on the two younger Cleary daughters. John goes for Claire, played by Rachel McAdams, and Jeremy goes for Gloria, played by Isla Fisher. Choosing different approaches, Jeremy very quickly gets into Gloria's good graces, but John has to play a slightly longer game, and Claire isn't as quick to succumb. And part of that, too, is because we will meet Claire's alpha male boyfriend, Sack, how appropriate of a name, played by a wonderfully jerky, we'll use that word, Bradley Cooper. And John says he'll need to have a little bit more time to get with Claire. And then, through a series of events, that opportunity presents itself when John and Jeremy get invited to go with the family to their home for a weekend getaway. And this will introduce a whole other cast of characters, including Todd, played by Keir O'Donnell, the brother and male child of the family who constantly makes passes at one of our crashers, I won't say who, and the other is fending off the sexual passes made by the matriarch of the family, Kathleen, played by Jane Seymour. Between these and other challenges, our crashers try to make it through the weekend and ultimately do, but not before some secrets are revealed, truths come to light, and things go interestingly for these respective relationships. And as time passes on, we have a time jump that I won't spoil. We see that friendship starts to get tested, and things might not be the same after this long time relationship between Jeremy and John comes to a screeching halt. Now, Wedding Crashers was the first of a long coming line of R rated comedies that would rule the box office. Ultimately, this film was actually the sixth highest grossing film at the domestic box office in 2005, and the highest in terms of a film that was not a remake or part of a franchise. And it's not hard to see because this comedy was not afraid to push the envelope. And part of what made the movie work, besides the performances, which I will get into, really what makes it work is Julio Macat's cinematography and Mark Livolsi's editing. There's some great moments captured where, some interesting shots. There's one scene at the table, the dining table, that I won't spoil, but it's just the way footage was captured in visually. The Barry Robinson's production design, I mean, the house where this was filmed is glorious. And just, capturing these long sweeping scapes and the activities that are happening and a lot of quick cuts really amp up the comedy, making this work. And also, and the reason we're here, McCoy Bell, the hair in the film is very, very nice. I mean, she really does a nice job with the family, with the wedding. And then, you see this rich upper class New England vibe, perfectly coiffed hair, even when we're just hanging out on the deck, creating a nice juxtaposition with Jeremy and John's slightly more, little more unkempt mid-aughts look that was so popular. So McCoy Bell does some nice work. Now, again, in addition to these technical elements, the acting, the characters are all phenomenal. I mean, look, there's nothing that can be said. Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson have incredible comedic timing. Their rapport is felt from frame one to the end. And then rounding out in the supporting players, McAdams continued on a strong streak. She was coming off Mean Girls. She would also go on in '05 to star in Red Eye, which was also a success. And here she gets to have some comic timing that's a little more grounded than Regina George, playing more the straight woman to Owen Wilson. And O'Donnell and Seymour are a delight. Hooper is slightly jerky. We're going to stick with that word. But it has to be said that really the standout in the film is Isla Fisher. Nobody can hold a candle to her. She was the one to watch here, and what she gives is almost a masterclass in comedy. She's that strong. Now, as always, romantic comedies can be hit or miss, and this one is a hit. It subverts certain traditions by doing some role reversals and gives an excellent cast of characters where both the males and the females are up for the game and willing to give as good as they get. So they make their presence known. And while it's not a perfect film, it is a strong one. And ultimately, for me, Wedding Crashers is a strong 4-star film. So, there you have it. If you would like to catch Wedding Crashers, as of this recording, you can find the film available for digital rental or purchase on most platforms, but it is not streaming anywhere as of this recording. Also, if I may recommend, you will have a choice between a theatrical version or what they have deemed the uncorked or the unrated version, which is about 8 minutes longer, which I do recommend because there are some other great jokes that they've put in place there that are worth seeing. So there you have it. As always, if you like what you heard here, please subscribe to the channel, spread the word. You can follow me on all social media platforms and on Letterboxd. Check out great coverage that I did of Edinburgh and summer releases and everything on my website, cinephilemike.com. There's so much more to come. Award season review is right around the corner. But until then, happy watching, everyone. And until then, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.